first saw the title, was that even a curiosity? Is that the reason why the room is more crowded than usual? That there is a curiosity, there is an important Buddhist ritual? In fact, is there a ritual? Is there a ritual? And what is, I call it the most important. You see, in the course of the talk, I will tell you the answer. There is an answer. My answer. It doesn't mean this is the only answer. This is my answer. You will have your own. But there is an answer. And so what we're going to do now is I'm going to first take you through some definition. We have to do a bit of definition. And you see, it's been so long I do this, I forgot where to click. So you've got to bear with me when you see funny things on the screen, okay? The first thing we have to define is this concept, the term ritual. According to the Oxford Dictionary, my go-to dictionary, it is a series, or a ritual is a series of actions that are always performed in the same way, especially as part of a religious ceremony. And for me, the two key points are, one, there is a recognizable sequence. In other words, in your mind, there are some steps. And you want to perform, you want to. Doesn't mean it has to be done, but because in your mind, you feel that doing the things in those steps are important, you want to do it, okay? And secondly, this one I put it in, often filled with meaning, believed to be important and significant. Whether or not those steps are necessary, whether or not they are truly that significant, doesn't matter. You believe in it. You believe, therefore you want to do, okay? And whether or not your understanding of what it means is correct, it's irrelevant. Do you understand? So, okay, for instance, we know that there are many rituals. Some you agree with, you're happy to do. Some you don't agree with, and you say, why? Eh? Isn't it? Yes, no. Okay, now my question to you is this. For the purpose of this audience, you're intelligent, thinking people, for this purpose, I'm going to ask you this. Are rituals important in Buddhism? Yes. Who say no? Who say no? You know, you say with such conviction, right? Okay. Who say yes? Yeah? Seriously? Who say I don't know? There has to be, right? Because there are some hands who say I'm in the wrong class. You know, I give the title the most important. So at least in my mind, there is something important there, right? So I will lean on the side of, I think it's important. And I will explain why, okay? Now, Buddhist ritual. There is a conventional view, right? What's the conventional view? Hey, you're Buddhist, right? Is there a conventional view? There's no conventional view. Isn't there some kind of an assumption that the Buddhists are very ritualistic? Yeah? In fact, that's the reason why many younger people today perceive Buddhism to be a little dated, yeah? A bit ancient, so many steps. Eh? Do you get that? No need to be shy. We are amongst family, you know, it's okay. Isn't it? I mean, BF is called what? BF family, right? Yeah. So we are amongst the Akong, Ama, you know, Aceh, Koko, Mei, you know, things. So we can be very upfront. In Buddhism, in your mind, search your conscience. Do you have this sense that we seem to have quite a bit of emphasis on rituals. Do you get that? Yes? Who say yes? Who say no? Okay. There is a conventional view, and typically the conventional view is there are many rituals. What is the view of early Buddhism? What is Buddha's view? Are you aware? What is your perception of the Buddha's view? It is perception. You have an impression. You cannot say you have no impression. You're not new here. You have been in this Dhamma for a while. You have been in search of the Dhamma for a while. You've been attending many talks. So, in your view, in your perception, what do you think was the Buddha's view with regards to rituals? I have to set the tone because we are going into rituals. And I boldly proclaim the most important. So I better set the stage right. Have you heard of this phrase? New wine in old bottle. You've heard of this phrase, right? Buddha didn't say it, by the way. I refer you to the Suta Sigalovada. Do you recall this guy by the name Sigala, who happily go to some crossroads and bow in 6 directions? You recall that? And then the Buddha came along, saw what he was doing, and what did the Buddha say? The Buddha said, that's not how you worship and pay respect in the 6th direction. And then he gave a really long sutta. It's long because it's found in Digha Nikaya. It's a long sutta, right? Lengthy, right? And what did the Buddha say? This is not the way to do it. So, and then he gave him a why, a how to do it, and a why it must be done like this. What's the takeaway from that episode? That it's okay to have a ritual, yes? That you must understand why. And then you can continue with how. Understand why before you proceed on how. The regular person, the conventional approach, is typically to ask how. Sometimes you don't even ask why, right? You know, you go to a new place and then they say you have to do this, this, and this. You bow here, you bow there. Then you say this and you do it with all these gestures. And then you go, is this correct? What about this or this? So we are fixated with how a ritual should be performed. We don't always ask why. Buddha's position has always been, before you embark on something, understand why. And if you understand and if you agree with the explanation, the rationale, then you can decide what you do. That is why this expression, new wine in old bottle, means there were rituals, he can embrace them, he can adopt them, but only after he had given them a new meaning. And so whatever ritual that you wish to follow, you must always approach it with right understanding. First of the Noble Eightfold Path, right understanding. Okay? So that's point 1. Point 2, the third fetter. The point here in my mind to bring up is this. The regular mind gets trapped, gets caught up. By the way, you know what's the third fetter, right? This is the third fetter that binds us to samsara. And if one enters the stream, this fetter breaks. Or this is one of 3 fetters that breaks, right? And what it means is, if you extrapolate from that point, what it means is this, that as you begin to understand the Dhamma more and more, and you reach a point where the Dhamma gets so much ingrained in your mind, and you finally get one glimpse of what it means to be enlightened, this is when you start to let go of wrong rituals. Wrong. Rituals done with no understanding, for the sake of doing, in the belief that it helps you to improve your mind spiritually. Those are rituals you can do without. So, the regular conventional person does feel a need to be performing something, but done without understanding, no use. Not useful. Done with understanding, it can be very meaningful. Of course, they are not, at the end of the day, they are just steps. But until you get to a point where you see them as just steps, good to have some steps. It's like learning how to walk. When you are a little one and you go from lying down to getting up, there are steps. But when you become so familiar and so used to it, do you still see left leg down, turn around, push off here, there? You don't do these things anymore. It becomes second nature, right? But there's a reason for all these things. For those of you who learn driving, you remember that when you first start off, 3, turn left, right, all kinds of swinging. But today, you don't have to calculate the steps anymore. You just focus on not knocking people down. Right? So, yes, if done with right understanding, for the right purpose. Okay? Now comes my question. Next survey. Which do you think is the most important? So now I'm inviting you to read my mind. Because, as I said, this is my ritual. And I'm inviting you to read my mind on the answer. Would you like to guess? You think about your own rituals. And then you offer some suggestions. Three bows, okay. Chanting, okay. Chanting, 3 bows. What else? Meditation. Puja. Okay, puja. Puja is the offering. Offerings? Okay. Or the regular just iti piso and... Okay, put the whole thing together. Give it to you. So there are your bows. There are the puja. There are the chantings. There's a meditation. What else? Taking refuge. Very good. Would you consider taking a refuge and puja same? Or different? Different. Okay. He wants to be territorial. Any more? The rest of you there? All the answers are here. Maybe next week I should put my table there. Any suggestions? Nobody say anything about precepts. Who say precept? Who say precept? Suddenly a lot of people say precept. What else? What else? Give dana. Okay. Anything else? You want to vote? Let's just define a few. We'll just put puja and refuges together. Okay? Oh, no. Sorry. We'll keep them separate. So there's puja, there is the bow, there's the refuge, there's the chanting, there's the meditation, there's giving of dana. Did I miss out anything? The precepts. Okay, 7. We put it to a vote. Okay? Who say the bows? That's the most important. Okay, 2. You can only choose one, because here it says the most important. You don't play all 7, you put your hand up. The most important means 1, okay? So you think again, I'm going to start again. It's going to be the bowing, the refuge, the puja, the precepts, what else? The dana, the meditation. Precept say already. Chanting. 7, we're going to start again. Okay? Who say bowing is the most important? Okay, small group. Who say refuge? The refuge is the most important. Only 2 of you. You said, right? Okay, refuge. Who say precepts most important? Got more people. Who say chanting important? Not even the one who say. Very good. Who say what else? Dana it's important. Okay, dana. And then meditation. Who say meditation? Wow, suddenly a lot, huh? Did I leave anything out? Then the rest of you say what? Because there's so many of you, there are obviously many hands missing here. Okay, she disagrees with you. Meditation is not ritual. Okay. If you ask me, it all depends. If you know what you're doing, it's not ritual. But if you don't know what you're doing, it becomes a ritual. Anyone else? Seriously, this is a survey in failure. Because the response is 30%. Yeah? About 30%. Huh? Then the 70%, you're behaving exactly like a Singaporean. All sitting on the fence. My view, the threefold refuge. And there's a reason for it, okay? You know the threefold refuge, right? You go before the Buddha and you say, I go to you for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. And you do it 3 times. Why, oh why do I say that in my view, this is the most important? As I said, you can have your own. This is my version. This is a choice, and it is important. For me, when I go and perform this ritual, I do it consciously, deliberately. I do it carefully. I make a determination. And this is to be done properly. It cannot be superficially. It's like you swear your pledge, say already forgot. 10 years later, don't remember a word. No. It is something that you say with conviction and confidence. And you say it with meaning and understanding. And why is this the most important? Yeah, I must stress, it is done consciously, deliberately. And only then would I consider it important. But why? Oh, I'm giving you an incidental note first. Did you know that this was the first ritual introduced by the Buddha in the history of Buddhism? Did you know that? Did you know that the first 2 people in the whole millenniums to take the refuge were 2 lay people, businessmen, not of the highest class. The first 2 in the history, in recorded Buddhist history, to take the refuge were 2 individuals, Tapusa and Balika, who are merchants from Orissa or something like that, far away. The point is they were merchants, lay people from a great distance away, and they happened to be directed towards the Buddha, went before him, offered him dana, and then said, I go to you for refuge. And I go to the Dhamma for refuge. This is in recorded history. Whether or not we believe that the incident happened, the point is you are told that there is this event. What's the significance of it? It is basically our founding fathers, the one who gathered the teachings together. At that point, there was a decision that the world must recognize, the followers must recognize that refuge was taken at this point, which marked the start of the dispensation. For them, they wanted to record that moment. As I said, whether or not it happened, irrelevant. Founding fathers want us to remember it happened, or to acknowledge that it happened, okay? And all the Arahants, after their encounter with the Buddha, all of them took the refuge. Buddha Dhamma Sangha, I go to you for refuge. So the question is, why? It is that first step that mark a transition from you being just non-believer to one who to buy in, who believe. It's a transition point. If it made no impact on you, it transited you in no way, meaning you step in here as you are, after refuge, you leave here as you are, nothing has changed, nothing changed in your mind, then the refuge hasn't gone in. You have said the words, but you have not acknowledged it. Refuge is not something to save, because everybody say, I also must say, lor. Otherwise, they are going to say, how come you never say? You feel shy. Refuge is not like that. Taking the refuge really is yourself saying that I have embraced the Buddha as my teacher, his teaching as a prescription of how I should lead, I should train myself, train my mind, and lead my life. And to uphold the practice and support the people who are walking the path and defending the Dhamma, protecting the Dhamma. So you go from having 无家可归. Right? Correct. You go from homeless to home. You go to a place where you find comfort. And I said, from the most superficial to the most profound, what do I need? When you sign up as a member of the Dhamma, of Buddhism, and you take your refuge, right? That's the most superficial. That's when you say, I go from a free thinker to a Buddhist. Even if you didn't really understand a lot, you should have made some kind of a mental transition. But at that point, what do you know about the Dhamma? What do you really know about the teaching? Nothing. But even then, it's a turning point. Years later, you may look back and call that point marks that difference in your life. You see what I'm saying? To the most profound, as you begin to practice, as you begin to embrace, as you begin to operationalize the Dhamma in your life, basically you implement the Eightfold Path and make it part of your life. As that begins to happen, you will also undergo some kind of transformation up here, mentally. And then you will really see a change in how you see the world, in how you prioritize, in how you tackle the problems and challenges, in how you relate to people, in how you live your life. Wouldn't you say that's the most profound? Then you are really, really, the Dhamma is really a refuge. Second, you may find that this particular ritual, this particular step, is very helpful in resetting you on a daily life. Imagine you get upset, you get annoyed with people, music so loud, don't know, so inconsiderate. And then you say, I am a student of the Buddha. He can take all kinds of nonsense without being affected. Role model Buddha, right? You see, as I talk, he talks louder. Your role model is the Buddha. And therefore, if you think about it, the moment you remember the Buddha, you reset. It's okay. I can take this. I will learn. This is just an example. And there will be many more because there are so many more lives. Agree? We're not done. I say Mara's bait. You see, you think about it. In your daily life, how many temptations are there around you? Things to eat, things to see, things to hear, people to love, people to hate. Buddhists don't hate. People to dislike. The mind is so fast, right? We keep chasing after all kinds of external stimulation and internal construction. It is very hard. All those are Mara's baits. How many times have people, or maybe yourself, maybe the people next to you, how many times have you heard for yourself? You know, I'm a very peace-loving person until this guy come and irritate the hell out of me. Have you heard of this? Do you say it? Of course you don't. But the point is, we always blame our akusala state on what's out there. But actually, they are just baits. They are just Mara's baits. And we respond to them. We kena. You see what I'm saying? We get trapped. So your refuge, it's one way by which you can extricate yourself from the traps. If you can remember. And remembering is part of the refuge. Okay, how do the refuge, how can they help? Okay? There are three, right? Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Yes? Who say four? Who say two? Two? Yes. No. The Sangha are the monks, the practitioners, the two types. If you go by the Supatipatno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangha, you go by that stanza, then the Aryas are the Sangha, plus the monks who are walking his path, practicing to uphold his path. Meaning to say, when we keep saying upholding the path, what do we mean? Observing sila, observing goodness, taming the mind, developing, cultivating the mind to let go of lobha, dosa, moha. Practitioners who tame their mind of lobha, dosa, and moha. Lobha, you know what? Huh? What is lobha? Greed. Dosa? Your whisper is so loud. What's dosa? Anger. We'll just put it superficially. Simplistically, it's greed, anger, delusion. Okay? Of course, each one can have its own long lecture, but today we'll just call it greed, that which you want more of, and that's loba. That which you don't want, that which you get upset with, you want to push away, that mental state that comes up in relation to that kind of a mood is dosa. Delusion or moha is when the mind doesn't understand the Dhamma, the mind doesn't see things as they are, and they react instinctively. Okay? So, when I say the three refuges, recalling it up. Recalling, I choose my words very carefully. Recalling, upholding the Buddha's qualities. If you recall, iti piso bhagawa arahan sama sambuddho vicacharana sampanno, you look at all those, they are qualities that tell you, those qualities tell you who the Buddha was, what kind of a person he was. His cultivation, his wisdom have made him that way. The strength of the Buddha is seen from the qualities contained in that chant, in that recitation. And we should recall them in English, unless you understand Pali. If you don't understand Pali, for heaven's sake, do it in English so that you can be reminded of what those qualities were. If you very jelat cannot remember, minimally you must remember this one. Wisdom and vidya charana. He has wisdom, knowledge, and he has virtues, purity, absolute morality, goodness perfected. So you put these two, it encapsulates everything, right? So you don't remember all his qualities, never mind the wisdom, the compassion, the goodness of the man. Try and remember that minimally, because then it will remind you. They will serve as a reminder, recall and uphold. It will be reminded he was the greatest, kindest man to walk this earth. Out of compassion, he came back to teach. We must not so no give face. So give him no face. I must practice my Singlish a little bit better. You understand? I must not do so badly that if I were to run into the Buddha, he's going to turn away his face in shame. But out of compassion, he will look at you. Okay? Recalling and upholding is to help us be reminded that we can do better. So every time you want to open your mouth to scold, recall the Buddha's qualities. Every time you feel pride, you feel ego, recall the Buddha's quality. He didn't go around and say, I'm the Buddha, you know. Hello. I'm the Buddha. You know what's the meaning of the word Buddha? He never went around doing that, right? So neither should we. He embraced all beings. It doesn't matter if you were his disciples or not. You're in need, he will come to you. So why are we discriminating? Why do we sit around and say we are Buddhists? They are not. Why? Cannot. I'm Buddhist. They're not. Cannot be done like that. The Buddha was not, we will not be. The Buddha embraced all, we will embrace all. The Buddha showed compassion, indiscriminately, without discrimination, we will do so. Whatever that he did, that was the right way, we will do it accordingly. So next time, you don't ask this question, right or wrong, should we do it like this? Anything aku salah, wrong. You see loba dosa in your mind, wrong. Any tinge of anger, wrong. It means you have regressed. You have backslided. All that you have achieved, at that point, when the anger comes up, backsliding. Doesn't matter. As you scale the heights of the Dhamma mountain, you backslide and drop a few notches. You haven't fallen to your death. You are fine. You can still yank yourself up. Okay? Next. Consolidating on the understanding of the Dhamma. Consolidate. That means in daily life. You don't walk out of this door and drop all your Dhamma knowledge behind. Do you know what I'm saying? You walk out of this door, you bow to the door and say, I'll remember Buddha Dhamma Sangha. If that has to be part of your ritual, be it. Be so. No. A ritual is to help you remember what is important. And I'm telling you, remember the Buddha, upholding and consolidating understanding of the Dhamma. In fact, originally I wrote it as recalling and consolidating. And I think, yeah, that's true, but let's assume that you know, so now you consolidate. The consolidating part means that in daily life, you must remember. They say, oh, very hard to remember Paticca Samuppada. I ask you to remember Paticca Samuppada, is it? 4 noble truths. 4 noble truths. How difficult is that? When there is dukkha, there has to be craving somewhere. What is this craving? How can I let it go? How to be compassionate? How to be more generous? Is that so difficult? Recalling is not difficult. Consolidating is. Right? When you are really agitated, when you're really agitated, you already forgot. You have forgotten. There's no way you can consolidate. But just remember, don't let the Dhamma rough go. Because if you do that, you will backslide. And if yours is a once a week Buddhist, and then on national school holidays, you also take a vacation. Being a Buddhist, take a vacation. Backseat to Phuket, that kind. You will backslide even more. By backsliding, it's very easy to tell. If you, okay, right now, here and now, how many of you would say, my mood is really good? Seriously, nothing. I'm feeling really compassionate towards the world. How many of you would say that sitting right here, enjoying yourself, and you're feeling connected with the Dhamma? How many of you? Hey, give me a bit more show lah. A bit more support, seriously. How many of you would say, I'm still agitated, I'm really still agitated? No, nobody. You would have gone from agitation to normal, and from normal to heightened delight. Right? Heightened delight. But after you step out of this door, all bets are off. Fair? Possible, right? Possible. So you have backslided. You hit a height, a peak here. As you go further and further away from BF, you start to leak all the goodness, leak compassion, leak Dhamma joy, leaking away. By end of the week, it'll come back for recharge. Once a week, you count and power bank. Recharge. And actually, this is a good one. The refuge, the 3 refuges, it's like power bank. Okay? Portable power bank. reminder. All you need is a reminder to stay on track. And this is what it means. I haven't hit Sangha yet. Huh? The third one, I will say, Sangha, I will say, it's not just about, well, if you are starting from a very low base, interacting with the right Sangha helps. I will emphasize right Sangha. They are role model. They are walking advertisement for the Dhamma. If your advertisement is not very effective, what will happen to you? You go buy your ware somewhere else. Yes? Before the Buddha, tell the truth. It's true, right? If you observe and you say, now this really is not what I would expect of the Buddhist Sangha, you will walk away. And if you see too many versions, too many, 2.1, 3.1, 4.1, all the same pattern, what will happen to you? You'll be disillusioned, right? So, interacting with the Sangha has to be interacting with Sangha that can help you learn, that can help you grow, understand the Dhamma better, feel the joy, see for yourself how the practice makes a person different, and then you get very inspired, yes? And so this is what will happen. You get the right Sangha, you will fly. You get the wrong Sangha, you will plunge. Or you buy a different product, unfortunately. So that's point one. But the point two, which to me, and I wrote it this way, Dhamma is not just to hold in your mind. There has to be an expression. It's when you encounter challenges in daily life, then you recall what you learn and you operationalize it. So you get agitated with people. Are you able to forgive, let go, embrace, comfort? Can you get out of your own feelings and emotions and be there for another? That's the challenge. For you, that's the challenge. So when I say walking the talk and living the path, I really mean that in daily life, as you recall the Dhamma, you operationalize it. So number 2 and 3 are related. Number 2, got to learn it right, then you can recall. You don't need a whole year worth of work. You need Dhamma Chakra. If all you know is Dhamma Chakra, so be it. You understand? You need basics. Basics 你已经搞不定了. Basics already you struggle. You don't need the high-end Abhidhamma. You just need Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. The path. And then if I were to simplify it even further for you, I will say, every time Lobha, Dosa raise their ugly heads, you lop it off. You can panatipata those. Lop off the Lobha, Dosa. You say, how? Don't think about it. The actual training part, we can have a whole lecture. We're going to have many lectures on that. But just remember, if you are angry, let it go. Cannot let it go, observe. And tell yourself, talk to yourself. There are things, there are steps. There are steps that he introduced. And if you need, those steps can be your ritual to tame Lobha and Dosa. Okay? You know, I should have introduced this slide earlier. Just read it, not that important. Oh, no, actually, this is very important. Refuge. The notion of refuge. There's a reason why I introduced it here so far into the talk. I wanted to introduce the notion of how this word changes in meaning for you as you gain understanding of Dhamma. This word superficially just means protection, comfort, a place where you find help to shield you from the rigors of the world, the pains of the world. So when you first set off, when you're very new, you may have an understanding of the meaning of this word, and from that understanding, you can let's just say build a life around it. How many of you, when you first started out in the Dhamma, right? Well, as a Buddhist, when you first started out as a Buddhist, how many of you had this experience that you were given the idea that going to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha for refuge is a very magical experience? It acts a kind of protection for you. Do you have that kind of, don't keke lah. Sure have one, right? You just have to nod. Yeah, no need to put out your hand, just nod. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I want to say is I'm going to yell. You see the exclamation mark right there? I'm going to yell it at you. Tisarana is not magic. There's no mystical qualities. Whatever mystical qualities, it's all in your mind. That's point one. And I said that at different levels of understanding, you will begin to see this word refuge differently. Okay? And I'm going to show you different levels. The levels merely means how much understanding. I'm not dividing you into primary 1, primary 2, primary 3. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying these are different levels of understanding. You look at it and you may recognize for yourself, 1, where you were, and 2, where you are. Okay? Don't take pictures. There are 4 points. Different levels of understanding, from the most simplistic to the most thoughtful. At the first level, when you're new, this is how you build suspense. When you're new, and you don't know any better, and you're checking the Dhamma out for the first time, this is what happens. Sometimes, even just a basic understanding already gives comfort. Yes? Do you recall those wondrous years when you were young and life was fresh? Do you recall? Yeah? Huh? Who's still there? Okay, this, I said, it's comforting. But I said tactical and situational, conditional, fragile, and shaky. It's your confidence. If you see the Buddha Dhamma Sangha superficially as a refuge where you go to Buddhas out there, then bow to the Dhamma because he taught this, and then see a monk pray to a monk, Sangha. And when he blessed me, I feel so refreshed. But they bless some more. This week, rough week, can you hit a few more drops? Get your blessing in a spoon tree, right? If blessed already, run to the back. Everybody take another cue. It feels very comforting. Tactical and situational because I told you it's not magic, right? Sometimes it doesn't work, ma. You hope for 4D, then the number never came out. Confidence shaken. You pray for someone not to die. Further died. Confidence shaken. Because you believe it's magic. Even if you know it is not magic, even if you know, you're still hoping for something special there. It can happen, right? Because I am so earnest. Buddha, I gave you big flowers. I spent a small fortune. This weekend's marketing I spent on flowers for you. What do I get at the end of it? More heartache. Shaken. Because your faith is conditional. Right? And therefore, this is very basic understanding. The basic understanding, shaky. Your faith is shaky. Not the refuge is shaky. Your faith is shaky. Agree? Have you all transited from here? Hope so. I cannot hope so lah. Cannot. Finish DFC, I cannot have hope so. Some correct understanding, Some correct understanding. Some putting into practice. Growing confidence. Why growing confidence? Why did I put this word here after some, and then growing? Do you know why? First, do you recognize this? Recognize this feature or not? Do you recognize this feature? Does it bring back memories? Or you say, no, this is correct. What is your response to this observation? Is it 1, memories? Or 2? 对，是这样. 1 or 2? 2 or 1? 2, 1. 2 means you're still here. 1 means you have moved on. Okay? And what does this, as you begin to understand the Dhamma better, correct understanding, I must keep stressing the word right understanding. You can score A's and distinctions in all your exams, but it doesn't guarantee that you have correct understanding, right understanding of Dhamma. Fair? Now for the rest of us who didn't study, this matters. Otherwise, die. I must go study, take exam. My hands can't write anymore. Okay? Now, with some understanding, with correct understanding, I put in a second feature there. You must operationalize. You can have distinction, you can have right understanding, meaning to say, I asked you to, can you please explain Four Noble Truths, and you can rattle off Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta in Pali. But 你是纸上谈兵 improvement, meaning to say, all theory, no practical. In which case, you are still at 2 because you have some understanding but no practice. Only when you practice, and then what do I mean when I keep using this word practice? What do I mean? Kusala, akusala. When there is akusala, unwholesome states, mental states, do you remember that part of your training is to wrestle and push it away, to tame those akusala states, to let them go? Did you do it? If you didn't, this practice for you is a theoretical concept. It's a beautiful word to use in Dhamma talk. But as a way of life, it's impractical. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what will happen if you do not remember to overcome your akusala. When I menang, did you hold back? Did you cut off your tongue? Meaning stop the words from coming out. I don't mean a literal cutting off. I must advise you not to do that. Did you remember to hold back? 1. That is 1. There is a part 2 because Buddha says, do no evil, do good and purify mind. How many people will remember to purify the mind? They always remember, okay, when they do remember, they remember the do not do evil. Don't do the evil. Then when they are better at this, they remember to do good. What's doing good? Helping, servicing, being there for people. Chaga as a way of life. Those are the doing good part. Your instinct is to grab for yourself. Can you grab for others first? Help others. The word grab shouldn't be used. And purify mind means what? Means in regular days, on normal days, nothing better to do, metta. Spontaneously, as you sit, there you sit, you are observing the breathing, feeling the lightness, sharing the, extending it, proliferating it, having it wash your mind. You basically do a dental flossing of the mind the whole day. We don't do that, right? I mean, how many of you sit down there and recharge on metta and on karuna and all those things? No, right? Go back to the breathing, be mindful in the moment. Who does that? I hope you do. We don't. And if you don't, then some practice into this is just don't do good bad. There is no real touching the Dhamma. In which case, if you do tame those akusala, proliferate the kusala, bring up all this goodness, if you do that, what will happen is you will feel that in daily life you are a happier person. You're kinder, softer, gentler, happier. What's in it for me? You're happier. Free. DIY. No need take medicine. That happens. Get it? And you can see, you experience, how can you not have confidence? That's how the confidence built. Fear starts to decrease. Fear starts to decrease. Worry starts to dissipate. If you do it correctly, you put your frame of mind in a good spot. And when your frame of mind is in a good spot, your mind is relatively quiet, present, and you can reflect on the Dhamma. That's how you live a happier life. You're expecting magic? I enter the stream, everything is over. No problem really. Hello, a lot of work. Do good first, do good. If you can do that, a time will come, conditions will be right. Okay? Correction, but still conditional. Meaning to say, still conditional means, say you get agitated, and then you reflect on the Dhamma, it doesn't work, I'm still agitated. Yeah, it doesn't work. Confidence is conditional upon you being able to restore balance. As you begin to reflect and uphold, reflect on the Dhamma and recall the Dhamma, and you consolidate the practice, don't do bad, do good, purify mind. I put it very simplistically, but that's the crux of it, okay? Now, you have that, you will gradually begin to see the correlation between upholding this path, practicing the path, making the path panya, sila, samadhi, bringing the path a part of your mind. Then your mind is relatively quiet. You begin to be able to see how mental states come together and fall apart. You will begin to know how to restore mental balance. So at the next level of understanding of the Dhamma, you should be able to press that reset button to restore balance. Meaning, you're agitated, you should be able to get out of agitation and stay in kindness and goodness. You don't get stuck. I yesterday agitated, today I'm furious. If you are like this, you are either one or not even there. Or two, for sure is, if you are agitated and you haven't restored anything, 1 and 2, max. And you're quickly falling out of that. Because you're not applying. You understand that? Any question here? So now the question is, what's 4? Oh, 3 so kilat already, what's 4? Do you say that? Yeah, okay. You want to take a picture? After 4 comes out. Constant presence of panya sila. Is there a clock here? Must be that cupboard there, I think. Okay, anyhow, constant presence, meaning panya, sila, samadhi is very much a part of your mind at all times. Okay? Very much a part of your mind at all time. That's how you can tell. What is panya? Panya is wisdom. Okay? This wisdom is proper, correct understanding of the Dhamma, constantly applying the teaching and eradicating the akusala and keeping the mind pure. He understands the transient nature of mental states and of life. Holds on to nothing, doesn't hanker after pleasure, because it's our hankering after pleasure, after delight, that comes with the price tag of dukkha. If the mind doesn't constantly lean towards delight, seeking delight, the mind is pretty happy being here and now. Okay? And so at this level, I won't say, I can't say that the understanding is perfect, but the understanding is strong. The Dhamma understanding is very strong. Perfect is an arahant. A point in time when you really understand, you understand for yourself the fine prints. The fine prints. You know how you look at a legal contract and most times Apple asks you, did you read this? Yes. When in reality you read nothing. Right? Number 4 is you read everything, and between the lines also. You read everything. Huh? You understand the deal. You understand and you have wisdom to choose the right side of the deal. We can understand and still choose the wrong side. Yeah, how does it work? How many of you have gone for retreats, come out of retreat feeling very recharged, feeling very wise, and then promptly goes off in search of my iPhone, my Android handphone? We do that, right? You give in to craving, ma? So you understood about craving and its correlation with dukkha, but cannot. I must think about work. I must 探价. And then it starts again, yeah? And it starts small, then escalates, and before you know it, you said, I've left the retreat behind. Cannot. This kind of weekend warrior can die one, no? Dhamma warrior. So this is there's only one more slide. You understand this? Okay, easy. Now, you remember 1, 2, 3, 4, because the next slide will show you that level of understanding, at the first level, remember the basic understanding, right? Therefore, Tisarana, what is it? It's really only a devotional anchor. At the first level of understanding, Tisarana, the 3-4 refuges, for you is just an devotional anchor for comfort and assurance. Never mind, Buddha will protect me, that kind of. Now you know better. Huh? Buddha say you're on your own. Oh. You know better. Okay. At the next level, if you recall, it's about some understanding, some practice, right? Some understanding, some practice, and therefore, what does Tisarana help you? How does it help? A reminder to uphold Sila. Would you agree with me that every time you remember you're a Buddhist, it's okay. Do you do that? Do you find yourself doing that? Every time you remember that I'm a Buddhist, I'm a student of the Buddha, and that's when your anger starts to diffuse a bit. Your agitation diffuse. Your ego comes a notch down. Yes? Do you agree? That's what it means. Your level of understanding is there. You use the Tisarana for this purpose. Okay? Can you see the difference between 1 and 2? 1 is bye-bye. Right? 1 is bye-bye only. 2 is do good. 不要斤斤计较. Right? 2 is basically, it's okay lah, baki na chin. 1 is bye-bye, 2 is chin chai. Oh, what is 3? At the third level, because you're beginning to operationalize it, right? You're trying to remember the path. Remember? The Eightfold Path, you try to build up your practice, you try to anchor yourself on the path. So it becomes an anchor for mindfulness practice. A reminder to stay on track. Agree? When you come out of retreat, I must be more mindful. And then the music will play, the flag will wave, I must be more mindful. 我是佛教徒，我是佛教徒。Correct? Agree? What do you think 4? What do you think I will put for 4? Already so cheap already, right? Mindfulness leh. Remember to stay mindful in the moment. So cheap. What do you think I'll put for 4? You curious? Liberation? Almost there. But not everybody liberated. Must make it more commonplace. I'll give it to you. If you get to a point where Panya Sila Samadhi is very much a part of your mind, how do you think you will feel? For those of you who are in it or experiencing it, you come out of retreat, how do you feel? Tell me how you feel. You find the answer for yourself. We have time. Anicca. Okay, no problem. What do you think? You tell me. Joyful. Excellent. What else? Contented. What else?
Very light.
Light. Sure. You're light, you're happy, you're contented. What else? Grateful. You full marks. 你早早应该来. Here, answer some of my other questions. No, exactly. This. When you are so joyous, you're feeling so happy, you see suffering around you, what do? Hide in a corner and metta. You keep your metta, seriously. For those of you who come and serve because you say it is expected of you, so you come and therefore your level of understanding may be just 1 and 2, you can find that in service, it gets very hard. Okay? This is why people get burnt out. They come and serve, then I next Saturday not coming, I burn out. Huh? Got or not? Got? You know what I'm saying, right? You know the word I said lightly but not exclusive. There will be people who are already very joyous at 1, 2 level of understanding, and they will come and serve because they're grateful. That is true. But what I'm saying is, if really Panya Sila Samadhi is very much a feature in your mind, you feel compelled to come out and help. You feel compelled. You just want to do it. Because you're grateful already, what you want to do? Go home and sleep? Surely not, right? You are beneficiary of so much. That was what happened to Buddha and all his disciples. They were grateful to the Dhamma, so they came out and served. Do you see that? That's the real service. That's the goose pimple type of service. Not the, Sunday coming already. I promise this weekend I wash toilet. See how. That version is not. Okay? Now, therefore, are you convinced? Are you convinced? Would you agree with me? And therefore, see, I'm so happy to show you that. And that's why today, when you take your Tisarana, you tell yourself, this journey must start with that first step. Have I made a transition? Not just name change, identity change, IC change, not just that, but the mind. See the Tisarana in a different light. I tell you, as you begin to understand, you really, really will tear when it comes to the word Sarana. Because you know in this life, if you had not have these Saranas at the start point, you won't be where you are today. You may not even be alive this life. For those of you who came here in search of a way out of your mental suffering. So the Sarana, you will realize, is a refuge, really, truly. And at the end of the day, now can you understand why he said to the monks, be an island unto yourself? You are your own Sarana. Can you understand that? Because Panya Sila Samadhi are mental conditions that reside in your own mind. You have to see your own mind, understand what's dragging it down, what's causing it pain, be able to cultivate the correct mental conditions and put it in there, like change software. Change your old Loba Dosa Moha software to Panya Sila Samadhi software. Okay? Change the software, boot it up, and make sure you run the computer every day lah. Otherwise, what will happen? The battery will run out. You see that? And so you Tisarana, power bank, start again. You keep rebooting. And then a day will come when you will be your own refuge, because you know nothing out there can help you. The change, the training to change and to reshape the ambience here is entirely in our own hands. Okay? Okay, question. Don't ask chin chin one, must be easy one.
Sylvia, number 1 you say is bye bye, number 2 is chin chai. What would be Hokkien for 4 and 5?
Okay, My 4 is very good one. It's the 3 that I never thought of. My 4 is bye bye. Right? Bye bye to akusala, bye bye to anger, bye bye to loba dosa moha. Just let go. Bye bye. Help. 1 is bye bye, 2 is chin chai, 3 is sabai. Ai zai. Ai zai is good. Okay, very good. You all know, it's just a code word. If you know what it means, you're happy with it, right? It will help you. You can sabai here, which is a very Thai, or ai zai must sai. Okay? Up to you all to choose 3. Steady. Hey, you better steady in the Dhamma, okay? Okay. I was waiting for you.
Very simple question. Last part about the refuge to yourself, is it synonymous with the Buddha nature in us? I think that's very important.
Very good question. I really like this question. There is, when we talk about the Buddha's nature, actually this is a very intelligent word used with understanding. Basically, as you begin to understand the Dhamma, the qualities that are identified with the Buddha becomes qualities you can begin to notice arising in yourself. The qualities of the Buddha, qualities of the Dhamma, and the qualities of the Sangha, they are all internal qualities at the end of the day. They are mental states in your mind. They are not just external elements. They are internal. So yes, the Buddha's nature, Buddha's qualities, what do we mean? That you have wisdom, that you have goodness, your conduct is immaculate, that you have fed well, you have trained yourself well, that you are, well, you're not Sama Sambuddha, because there can only be one, but you're beginning to be enlightened to the path and to the Dhamma. Do you understand? All these are qualities that describe an individual who begin to understand. Buddha will always be our teacher, the one teacher, because it's from him. He like patented the Dhamma. For this dispensation, he has patented the Dhamma. So we can all ascribe, or can attribute our training and understanding to him. But once you begin to understand, then all those qualities that define him are qualities you will begin to identify in yourself. Okay?
It's a very small question on the fighting. Our grandmothers, all that, they don't understand anything about rituals. All they know is they just follow the rituals. And most of them have all the 4 qualities that without understanding at all. So how do you reconcile saying that you must understand the rituals and then only follow? Whereas
I can't say, I don't know, to say that they have the 4 qualities or 5 qualities, but I can say this. Anyone who understands, you don't need to be a Dhamma scholar, but if you begin to accept certain realities about life, you begin to have wisdom. Reality 1, we will all die. All things are transient. Let's not take things too hard. If your grandmother or grandfather or anyone, but hold that value, that belief, that mindset, if they hold that mindset, we are all mortals. One day we will all die. Let's not be petty. Let's forgive and forget. As long as they hold it like this, it's already wisdom. Because every time you forget mortality, you will get petty. That's when you will fight for the spot in the queue. Okay? Number two, we tend to associate people of a different generation who may not be here. We associate people of a different generation. We tend to associate them. We associate them with the capacity to take hardship. Yeah. It's almost like they perceive dukkha is part and parcel of nature. This is life. So there is in them an intuitive wisdom to be content and accept life as is. It's an intuitive, I call it intuitive wisdom. It is not cultivated. They didn't learn it. They just accept that there is pain, there is dukkha. It's okay. They don't call it dukkha. They call it something else. We don't know. Karma, bad luck, like that law, heaven. They can call it anything, but they accept. And so they're content. And then they have a very little thing, they're very happy. With that, as a mindset, this is what it means by DT. Mindset, attitude, perspective, view. And then they can accept. Then they make do. The only thing that they won't have is anatta. But anicca dukkha, enough for them to be way more content than us in our quest for 4 A-star and 9 A1s. Tomorrow, right? Results coming out. So I must give a nod to GCE. So like that, lor. You are right, you don't need to be a Dhamma scholar. In fact, Dhamma scholars, sometimes I look at Dhamma scholars and they are quibbling over words and text and content, and they are so intimidating. I get intimidated. But then at the end of the day, they're still quibbling. It's the last man quibbling. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit sad. No. In fact, there is this very cute sutta. It's a Dhammapada verse where I have told this story before. I shall tell you the story again, repeat the story. This guy, his name is Ekudana. Simple folk, knows only one stanza. Have you all heard? This monk knew only one stanza of the Dhamma. And every day, now he's an arahant, means he understood, right? Every day he will go, stand before the forest and recite one stanza. And then the forest will break out into applause and such enthusiastic joy, right? So he was very cute. Then brother monks came to visit, all the exalted Dhamma scholars, right? The sort who can rattle off in Pali, rattle off. And they came and visited, and he said, the Devas here are very appreciative of Dhamma. Go, share the Dhamma. So they stood there, before cleared the throat, and threw out the Dhamma in such beautiful flowery term, many imageries, and so on and so forth, and then nothing happened. Nothing happened. There was just silence, the chirping of the crickets. So they all waited. And then they looked at him and said, Apa? What's this? Where got? Then he said, no, you watch. So he stood there, and again, he only had one verse. So again, he, like a poetry, and lo and behold, the applause came. So he said, then guess what they did? They went to complain. They lodged a complaint with Buddha. Like Buddha very free, right? They went to complain to Buddha. They said, the deities, the devas of this forest, they're so rude, they're biased. They are his fans. He has got fans. So Buddha had to explain. He had one stanza, but he knew it. He understood. So when he spoke that, he recited that stanza, everyone could feel his joy. They can connect with the pimplish joy. You guys, talk until the cow comes home. Cow comes home, Sekia went off again next day. Nobody understood. You don't understand. Like that, law. It is not how much you know. It's how much you feel and how much it has changed you. You don't have to be very creative. Look, Dhamma is 2,500, and Yen Yen likes to say 2,600 years old. 2,500, 2,600 years old. It's a long time. Many people have spoken, centuries of people have spoken Dhamma, centuries of people have given beautiful Dhamma talks, of which we know many today. There is nothing new. It's still the same old story. But what is different is when you are hearing it, how much do you connect with that talk? If you connect, it sinks in, it makes that difference. Hey, you went off with GST, man. If you don't connect, if you can't connect with that talk, even if he's the exalted master who floated in here, did a soft landing, and then pontificate, and the world around you is singing, but you are the only one, they are book you. The ball went past, right? It doesn't sync with you. Okay, next question. We have one more, and then we have to stop.
What is the stanza?
It's not written there, yeah. But you can find this story in Dhammapada verse. So you can read Buddha's stanza.
Anyone has any more questions?
No more? You can yell that question at me, I can hear.
Okay, thank you, Sister Sylvia. Talking about the Sarana refuge, I'd like to know whether there's a formal ceremony for Buddhism or,
Okay. There is no need for formal ceremony. In fact, just stand before the Buddha, or even when you're out there, anywhere, in your mind you say, I am a student of the Buddha. I have gone to him for refuge, the Dhamma and Sangha for refuge. You don't even have to say it 9 times. No need to chant in Pali 9 times. You can say it in English or Hokkien or Teochew or whatever you like. Say whatever you like. The point is a reminder. You say, I am a student of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. I want to uphold this teaching, practice the way he had prescribed, and take him as my role model. You can say whatever you like. It's just a reminder. So therefore, I suggested a New Year resolution, right? Where you sit, there you are. Make your resolution and start this day afresh on the Dhamma path. Okay? Right. Thank you.